Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another wonderful, loving night of Ask Engineer. It's me, the engineer, Lady Ada, with me, Mr. Lady Ada, to help me on camera control. And we got all sorts of exciting engineering news and history and knowledge we're going to drop here tonight for the next hour. We're here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's when you get to spend time with us, your best friends on the internet.
Yeah.
So what's on tonight's show? What are we going to do tonight? On
tonight's show, the code is Falcon. We're talking about that Falcon Heavy thing that lifted off, that's in space. Someone's car is in orbit right now.
Boom.
So that's 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything except for gift certificates and Ada It supports us, an open source hardware company in New York City. We have a factory here. We have people. We pay them. So when you buy something, it helps us. Show and tell, people around the world showing and sharing their projects. Lady will talk about all the cool things that was on Show and Tell and more. Packet Mailbag's going to stop by. We're going to read your emails to us. Time travel, look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, news, and everything time-based. Main New York City, some factory footage and more. 3D printing, new products. We'll answer your questions in Discord. Don't forget adafruit.it/Discord. That's where we do all the questions. A trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it,
dun, dun, dun.
Ask an Engineer. All right, Lady Ada. Well, let's take care of some bills to pay for skills. Falcon's a code. Already mentioned that. We have the free deals going on right now.
Yeah.
What are they?
I'd like to tell you all about them. The free deals are, if you order from the Adafruit.com web shop, we will give you free stuff when you buy things. If you order $99 or more, you'll get a free half-size Perma-Proto breadboard, great for taking your projects and making them permanent. Order $200 or more, and you'll get a free UPS truck. No, UPS ground shipping in the continental U.S. High quality, wonderful shipping, the best shipping. It's tremendous. It's going to be trackable. It's actually UPS. It doesn't go through the postal system. You'll get it when it says that you're going to get it. It's good. And then $299 or more, we'll give you a free Circuit Playground Express. It's our favorite board, both for beginners and experts. Use it with Arduino, MakeCode, CircuitPython, has like 20 things built into it. You can do a whole bunch of projects with no soldering or even hacking or wiring or breadboards or anything. Use alligator clips. Good times. So those are the free things that you get.
Okay. And of course, we have all sorts of shipping. Lady Ada mentioned we have UPS. We also added postal to all 50 states, and we have DHL for international. We have same-day shipping in New York City. That means before 11 a.m. if you check out in the store and your zip code is in most parts of Manhattan or many parts of Manhattan, you can get same-day delivery. Just make sure you do that before 11 a.m. Okay, Lady Ada, show and tell, people around the world, show and share the projects every week. This is our favorite half an hour.
We had a lot of people show up.
Yeah.
Because...
well, it's fun to share.
It's fun to share.
We're in this together. Okay, what was on show and tell this week?
Okay. We had a bunch of Adafruit peeps. We had Erin, who is our local mermaid unicorn. And she's doing some 3D printed snap-on lights that snap onto NeoPixels that turn them into Adafruit flowers or maybe make other custom shapes. She's working on the guide right now. She actually did the code MakeCode. This is her first MakeCode project. Noah and Pedro made this wonderful USB media dial. What is it? You'll find out soon. We'll play the video. So they showed that off. And Katney is doing some IKEA lamp hacking. We sent her on a quest to go buy some IKEA lamps and then figure out how to make them do cool things using Circuit Playground Express. That's always fun. So that's what she's doing. Tony D built a Valentine flower with Gemma M0 and capacitive touch. It has a Gemma M0 inside of like this is plastic fabric flower, and it like illuminates the whole thing as capacitive touch, so when somebody holds it, it glows and has a heartbeat. It's really easy to build because it just uses the built-in Gemma M0 dot star LED. And bonus, in his spare time, which is amazing, he also ported MicroPython to the Sinobit. So Naomi Wu's NRF51 based microbit for Asia can display Asian characters. It has some code for Arduino right now, but now you can also run MicroPython, and Tony even added support for the LED matrix, so people can actually use it to have characters displayed, which is going to be very exciting. Also, we had many visitors. We had Chris Young, who wanted to give an announcement that IRlib, his infrared library for Arduino, works now with the Trinket and Gemma M0. Check that out. He also worked on a 3D printed TV bracket to hold his iPad over his TV, and he showed how he 3D modeled it, and it attached to the Visa mount, and like it's just like this cool iPad holder, custom. And he wanted to show some images from 40 years ago, the blizzard of '78. I think that's like when I was conceived. Yeah. Anyways, this blizzard, for 3 days, he couldn't leave the house. So he read Byte magazine, and he learned all about computers. He didn't own any computers at the time, I guess, but he got really interested in them from reading all these Byte magazines. And so he showed off his first computer, which had like his teletype and these cards, and they were from Seattle computer, and he had a trivia question. So check out the video to learn more about this trivia question and learn about the history of computing back in '78. Blitz City published her second guide. We're going to be talking about that soon.
Yep.
She also made a NeoPixel color tuner with like 3 potentiometers and like a sweet LCD display to tell you what the values are. Carson got some NinjaFlex for his 3D printer. He's working on that. And for a school project that needed hydraulics, he built like a cool capacitive...
A hydraulic safe. It's cool.
It's a it's a safe that uses hydraulics and copper tape to do like the touch analysis, and then like when you squeeze all the syringes, it detects it and it opens the safe. So that's kind of neat. Good use of like, I have a school project, but I want to do something, and just like making it work. Adam made a real-time long-range trail camera. So I guess he has trails nearby, and he wants to have the photos not be stored on the local camera, but actually be sent to his home, which might be maybe a mile away.
This is a really impressive project. You have to watch the whole, at least that section of the show and tell, because there's so much going on. So it's real-time trail photos using XB. It can do alerts with Android.
Yeah.
Cool project.
Yeah, and he uses your JPEG cam, a Pro Trinket, a PIR sensor, and then a high-power XB radio transmitter. And then at home, he's got an XB receiver, and then it connects to his like home internet. So there isn't internet on the trail cameras. They're using XB radios to transmit, which is pretty neat. Which is a good idea for a project. We should do like a LoRa camera.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
It's a good idea. We should put that in the idea section.
I'm going to put that in my idea bin. I don't know. I got to come up with ideas somewhere.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Dannon and Mia got a dollhouse. Somebody was selling, giving them away. They picked one up, and they're decorating it all goth with 3D goth prints.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's for like those monster dolls.
Yeah.
It's going to look cool.
And there's a cat that lives in the house. The cat's very happy.
The cat's very happy. The cat's sometimes a little bit too happy, so they're working on like some sort of litter box arrangement as well. Anyways.
What else you got?
Adam is working on a scanning electron microscope. He got up to 100,000 times magnification, which he's never been able to do before. He figured out the source of that 60 hertz noise that was bugging him so much. It's that Variac. He has a Variac that converts 120 volt AC down to 100 volts AC. And the Variac, you know, what's a Variac? It's a gigantic coil. And so it was just radiating, just gross E&M everywhere. So he moved it far away from his SCM, and he's getting much, much better results. He is also getting high-resolution photos using a SLR, DSLR, and the high-res CRT. I guess there's a slot. You put the camera in, you can take a photo, long-exposure photo. And he's doing something I don't completely understand. I guess there's something about, like, backscatter and, like, the electrons hit, and you get, like, different contrast. You can, like, X-ray through a board, and you can see all the different materials because they have different electron density responses, which is like pretty neat. You can see he took a photo of this chip, and you can see like the bonding wires are like bright white, like bright green.
Well, Adam pointed out, it's like some of these chips, it's not a mechanical process; it's more of a chemical process.
Yeah.
And he's exploring all that with this scanning electron microscope.
It's super cool. Yeah, he's totally upgraded. I remember back when he had that other scanning electron microscope. Now
back in the day.
Back in the day. Now he's got this like sweet one. Yeah. It's nice. C. Scott made a custom panel for his synthesizer. Got an OLED in it. And then he's was really inspired by the Falcon Heavy launch yesterday, and he wrote a really nice...
C. Scott always has thoughtful things, and I feel like he's an excellent observer of technology, music, maker history, so I asked him to send it along.
Yeah, we'll post it.
We'll post it on the blog or
you
whatever.
Can also...
But that's why the code's Falcon tonight, because, hey, we've got a shot of going to space more now.
Heavy space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super fun to watch. 2.5 million people watched it live. I watched it live too. It was awesome.
Okay.
Best science, and that's the show and tell.
All right, all participants on the show and tell get an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker or other stuff. We send it to you if you ask. Every week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's part of our Adafruit live series of shows. One programming note tonight, we're trying out Mixer. So mixer.com/Adafruit. It's another streaming network. I think it's mostly for games, but we're always like, hey, let's put electronics in there. So, I don't know, try it out. I was in the chat there. I'm like, okay, cool. It's working.
Yeah.
The other thing we're doing is we're doing like behind the scenes Instagram stories because, we're not like celebrities or like the Kardashians and like we don't have like Facebook saying like, okay, like you're brand compatible. You're going to like have like Doritos and makeup and Mountain Dew and stuff. So every person who follows us on Instagram, that's a real person. They enjoy this stuff. So we want to give them fun things. So we're adding Instagram stories and just fun stuff behind the scenes. So if you want, Instagram.com/Adafruit.
Yeah.
We always put stuff in Discord first, but then when we do some live video, we'll do that there. So check it out. JP, he had his live show last week. Here's a little sped up version. It was the arcade briefcase lighting. So you can see more of his projects this week, of course, tomorrow, but this is his show last week. I did a little clip on Twitter for those of you.
Like nice close-ups.
Yeah, and so you could see how he built the briefcase that holds the pocket arcade
the pocket operator, and then this reactive ring is going to have some neat audio effects.
JP every week on Thursdays. Look for John Park's Workshop. Okay, mailbag, pack in the mailbag. Every week at Adafruit, we read your emails that you send. Sometimes we have voicemails. We read this to our entire company, State of the Fruit. So when you send us something, we do read it. Here's this week's. This one is from Alicia. I newly discovered Adafruit, and I've watched several of your new product videos. I really want to tell you how proud I was watching a smart young woman running the show. I have truly never been as inspired over the course of my entire life. If asked who's your hero, who do you look up to, or who inspires me, I don't think I've ever been truly moved by anyone to answer. However, I'm so impressed and proud to know that Lady Ada exists. Unfortunately, I have let some people get under my skin, discourage me from doing the things that make me happy, programming, carpentry, electronics, that I never met my full potential. I didn't have any person to reinforce the idea that it was okay for me to be me, and I dim my light to make others more comfortable. I feel like I'm stronger knowing you exist. I guess what I'm saying is thank you for existing, Alicia. Wow, that's heavy.
Yay.
All right. So,
but we exist.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. I was going to mention this about the show and tell, but this is another thing. So you were interviewed by a pretty high-profile video thing. It's going to come out soon. And, one of the questions that always come up is like, where do you get your ideas? And you give an answer, but I think it's always hard for the interviewer to get it because you're like, oh, we do this show and tell. And by sharing, you get better ideas. You get more people because the best way to get ideas is to get lots of ideas. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things. And the other thing is, if people don't see someone like you, I think it's hard to imagine that maybe they can even do things. And so you get asked that a lot, is like, oh, what can everyone do? Well, if there's someone interesting and cool and doing stuff, build a cool place, a safe place, and have a cool community and elevate them and have everyone share their projects. We're all beginners in some way. Everything can always improve and get better, but the projects that we get to see every week, a lot of our team members we met on the show and tell.
That's right.
So it goes hand in hand. But I'm glad you exist.
I'm glad you exist too.
Yeah, I'm glad you exist. It's working out.
But okay. Sometimes I want to pinch you.
No, I know. No one Pedro keeps sending me these things, and like it's cute, but like you know what happens? Lady Ada just pinches me. So like
I don't actually pinch you. I just threaten to pinch
I'm pretty
you.
Fast. That's why
I threaten to pinch you, which is much more fun, to be honest.
It's just I'm on my toes, and I know where I stand. Okay, time travel. Look back at the world of hackers, makers, artists, engineers. Time travel. We just cover a lot of stuff this week because there's always news. There's always things going on the blog. Yeah. Right now on Adafruit site, every single year we do African American History Month, and you can check out all our posts. If you're an electronics company, if you're a publisher, if you're whoever you are, if you're publishing stuff, this is a great month to put people in the spotlight that maybe have not been in the spotlight, especially in the technology electronics world. So we have two. Yeah, we have two folks that we wanted to highlight. One I want to talk about. One you want to talk about. So. A lot of people don't know who James West is. James West is a U.S. inventor and professor. In 1962, invented the electret transducer technology, later used in 90% of contemporary microphones. So, Lady Ada, what is this microphone technology? What is this thing that was so important that's in like everything now?
These are some electrets, which we use. We actually use these. They're very inexpensive, but very high quality microphones. They're basically used in almost everything. There's sometimes people use MEMS microphones, but still nothing really beats an electret. You often see them because they have this little fuzzy cover. And I actually was reading a little bit about the science behind electrets, and I'll be honest, I don't completely understand it, but it's basically a capacitive sensor. And as you speak, it sounds like a little bit like piezo, but not quite. I guess when you speak, there's this doped material that changes the amount of current passed, or the AC current passed, and then, as most people know, you have to have like an amplifier because the signal is in the microvolts range. But it's very easy to set up. I mean, you need a very simple amplifier compared to a MEMS mic. So these have lasted for decades and decades, and 50 years now.
You've used these, right? You've known
constantly,
about them? Yeah. But James West, his name wasn't associated with this. It's not like tip of the tongue. This is an inventor.
Just you're sort of like, well,
it's always been around.
There's this Electra. It's always been around, and they always look like this.
So,
but thanks. They're really nice, and they work really well.
And one interesting thing, we have a bit of James' biography. His parents wanted him to be a physician because at the time it really wasn't something. He grew up in the South, and because of the Jim Crow laws, they prefer you would be a physician because like electronics and engineering, like that might not work out for you. But he persisted and he went for it. One of the stories is like if he had a screwdriver and a pair of pliers, anything around him would be opened. Anything would be explored. Everything would be figured out, and then he would build stuff.
I know that. My parents yelled at me a lot for taking apart stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, this is pretty neat. Years later, appointed president-elect of the Acoustic Society in 1997, joined the National Academy of Engineering in 1998, and inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame in 1999. Also works with initiatives with women and students of color to explore and pursue careers in the fields of science and technology. So thank you, James. All right, next up. Okay, this one's for me. So I wouldn't be here today doing this thing unless it was for John Henry Thompson.
Yeah.
Straight up. So this is a book that I had. I had this book and it was like it was folded and worn out. So John Henry Thompson was one of the reasons that all of us saw multimedia. So it was director in Lingo, which turned into Shockwave and Flash. Held a position, chief scientist at Macromedia. Macromedia is now Adobe, and considered the father of Lingo programming. But I want to say like vector graphics and scripting things. If you like SVG, if you like vector imaging, if you like the art that goes along with programming. I remember there was a time when web pages didn't make sound. This was like, remember back in the day?
No, they were quiet.
Well, you'd see like there wasn't talkies.
Yeah.
It's like film. Like, who wants to hear web pages talk? Well, someone did this, and he did that, and that was one of the first times that I combined what I like to do with a lot of art stuff, a lot of video stuff, a lot of sound stuff, CD-ROM development.
But without Lingo, there's no Macromedia. Without Macromedia, there's no YouTube, because the YouTube player was built on Macromedia.
Everything. The QuickTime,
Everything.
QuickTime had a Flash layer in it. Anyways, so here's the thing. He's still around. He's still doing stuff. You can go to his website, John Henry Thompson, Invent Your Future. To this day, right now, this second, he just taught a workshop.
That's cool.
In Philadelphia. This one is a youth workshop, and did you ever wonder how Snapchat filters work or those photo booth effects? Photo manipulation is a huge part of our 21st century culture, and coding literacy is a core skill at this point. Don't take for granted for how simple it is to click a button and make a black and white photo or color photo or pixelate or colorize. In this workshop, you will learn the mechanics behind photo editing and a do-it-yourself approach. So this is making your own Photoshop filters.
That's neat.
And he's still teaching to this day.
That's cool.
And his bio is like, coding language is a predecessor of Flash and JavaScript. That's one of the other things that a lot of people don't realize. So Lingo and ActionScript, ECMAScript, JavaScript, all these things are connected. And anyways, thanks.
Thanks, John.
John Henry Thompson. A lot of us are here because of your vision that you can combine all the amazing things about motion pictures and sound and graphics and turn it into internet and something to tell stories with. So anyways, I still have the bookmarker somewhere. Okay, next up. More time travel news. CircuitPython. So special thanks to everyone in our CircuitPython community, and of course Scott, Dan, Katney. We did a hack chat on
We did.
Hackaday, and I have a little sped up thing. So we did a simulcast, and we broadcasted you here. We had the Discord audio, we had the Hackaday chat, we had the Discord chat. So if you want to learn all the things about Circuit Python and meet virtually some of the people, you can also, of course, always go to Discord. But of course, you can read the Hack Chat and see a lot of the questions there. And one of the things that I wanted to start doing is Circuit Playground's taken off. Circuit Python's taken off.
Is it?
All these circuity things are taken off. Deshipu built a full device that runs Circuit Python. So you know a little bit about this more than I do. So this is he sent it to us. This is Microgame 10.
Yeah. So he has a variant of Circuit Python that is optimized for writing video games. So he basically took the Feather M0 Express, so it's got a SAMD21, that little flash chip, and he added a library for game controlling, and he also uses the built-in frame buffer TFT management, and he made like a little portable game, so you can write games that are sprite-based in Circuit Python completely, and it has a lot of helper stuff in C, but you get to do the fun parts in Python.
We have a video. So this is pretty amazing. This is possible to make with Circuit Python. You can do stuff like this. It's a cute little video.
Yeah, and it's way more fun to do because the fast stuff is in C, but then the creative stuff is in Python, which is easy to implement, easier to debug, and you can just load up your sprite map. Actually gets loaded up as like a bitmap file.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to edit your graphics as well. So I thought it's kind of a neat thing. I didn't think of this as something for Circuit Python, but it works quite well.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is, because a lot of folks are making things with Circuit Python, so we'll have like a little community corner. I don't know what to call it.
Okay.
Like here's cool stuff that people are doing and making, and now it's on Tindy. You can buy this.
Yes.
You can go to Deshipu's store and buy it. Support independent makers.
Yes.
Okay. Other news: the How Computer Worked video series is out. We played some of the videos last week. This is Lady Ada and a retired guy, Bill Gates.
I don't know.
Yeah, and
Seattle, some Seattle dude.
Some Seattle guy, and it's a 6-part series. Check it out. And then, kind of speaking of Microsoft, there's a bunch of neat things with MakeCode. We talked about that last week. There's Maker.MakeCode, where you can explore more boards and do more. And then, of course, if you have a Circuit Playground, go to makecode.adafruit.com and just plug it in and watch the magic happen. You got a blocky editor, and then you have JavaScript. Speaking of John Henry Thompson and all this stuff is connected.
That's true.
Okay.
Well, also another thing is Flash is what Scratch was written in.
Yeah.
So that's a predecessor.
Yeah, I worked on
of
the mobile player for Flash player for mobile devices a million years ago. I wrote a book about Flash, and then I wrote Java stuff, servlets, to get data-driven graphics inside of Flash, and that was a product called Generator that Macromedia made. Okay. So, like charting and all the neat things that we do with like all these interesting web services and some of these frameworks where you just, oh cool, a chart just shows up. A lot of this was before that. Okay. Back in the day. Okay, open source hardware. We're an open source hardware company. We've got 1,381 tutorials. What's on the big board this week, Lady Ada?
Oh boy, we had a lot of guides this week. Okay, starting from the top left, we have the Circuit Python Power Trinket Media Dial. So if you make your own, I have one here. Yeah. We'll show the video shortly. So it lets you make your own media dial with a button and also a rotary encoder, really fun, and a LED ring in the middle. We've got Tony DeCola's Cyber Flower Digital Valentine.
Yeah,
if you need to make something in the next week. Oh, we have a little animation.
Yeah, I got a little video.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So it
cool Gemma project.
It has a rainbow effect, and then when you grab it, the capacitive touch detects the human grabbing the flower, and it does a pink heartbeat.
Okay, what else we got?
We also have how to construct crossword and word searches. So JP is kind of getting some spy secret puzzle projects ready and to get you all your appetite whetted for AdaBox 7. Yep. We got the NeoPixel GoPro lens light. This is by Blitz City Liz, and she showed this off on Show and Tell. It was like, hey, I had a guide. She had a guide, and there's code in Arduino and Circuit Python, so you can make an adjustable NeoPixel powered GoPro light.
Okay.
And I think the fancy LED library was maybe from last week, but I'll talk about it anyways because it's super cool. It's Phil B implemented a lot of the effects that people like in Fast LED, the Arduino Fast LED library, to CircuitPython so that you can have like gradients and HSV and RGB values. I think that's it for this week.
That is. Okay. We're ahead soon. Next up. Because we're a factory, we take footage of stuff we make around here. So here's some videos from the team. And we have a few other things. This is a reflow oven, so you can see all the stuff going in. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah,
this is what it looks
up.
like. Yeah, things are a little slower, but that's some of this is real time. And you could see all the different
Beep,
boards
boop.
going in. And then a lot of people ask us, like, okay, so you have to change reels in the pick and place machine. This is Michelle. Michelle is changing the reels. And you can tell that we have to do some stuff. Here's one of the reels. And then you're like, okay, I need to get the scissors because I have to cut what's going in there. So that's a reel change. And then, of course, we always have a nice time lapse. Outside the window, this is a pie time lapse. And this is what the pick and places go to sleep and see every night.
That's a nice sunset.
Wow.
And the city comes to life.
Yeah. City never sleeps. Or I know. One of the two. 3D printing, Noam Pedro printing up a storm every week. This week, as you said before, it's the media dial. Take it away, Noam Pedro.
This is a DIY multimedia dial. It rotates like a knob and clicks like a mouse. In this video, we'll show you how we built this and how you can make your own with just a few parts. It works as a USB controller that you can program to do just about anything you want. Inside the 3D printed knob is a rotary encoder and NeoPixel ring. As you turn the knob, the LED follows the direction. This uses the Adafruit HID library for CircuitPython. All of the key codes are listed in the docs, so it's easy to customize your own key commands. It's powered by Adafruit's Trinket M0, which is a tiny little microcontroller that runs CircuitPython and connects as a USB drive. With CircuitPython, you can quickly change the program to execute single keys or multiple keys. All of the electronics are housed in an enclosure that we designed in Autodesk Fusion 360. The case features standoffs for mounting the Trinket with machine screws. We split the cover into individual pieces for 3D printing with a dual extruder. The inner ring is printed in translucent filament so the LEDs can shine through the top. To 3D print the top cover, we used an Ultimaker 3 and sliced the parts in Cura. A Trinket M0, NeoPixel ring, and rotary encoder is all you need to build this project. To assemble the circuit, we used a flexible PCB to extend the ground connections. This way we can break out more pins on the Trinket M0. We'll need to make a few wires for connecting the NeoPixel ring and rotary encoder. You can follow our circuit diagram for referencing the various pins on the rotary encoder. The NeoPixel ring just needs power, signal, and ground connections. These wires are threaded through the holes in the top of the enclosure. The PCB fits into the cavity and it's secured in place. The rotary encoder is fitted through the hole and panel mounted with a washer and hex nut. All of the wired connections are soldered to the various GPIO pins on the Trinket M0. Some heat shrink tubing or Kapton tape can be used to keep these wires nice and tidy. Micro USB is accessible through the side. The top cover has a stem that press fits over the shaft of the rotary encoder. It's pretty responsive, so you can use it to edit videos, play YouTube, or even scroll through those long text documents. If you like this project, be sure to tune into our 3D Hangouts show where we'll take a close look at the details and even answer your questions live. Links are in the description of this video. I hope this inspires you to build your own USB devices and maybe even try using CircuitPython in your next project.
Okay, and of course, we have a sped up video. This is kind of neat. This is a little Nintendo Joy controller thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
You'll like this.
I will.
Okay, and every Wednesday, Noah and Pedro is doing 3D Hangouts. The project you just saw, this is from their show earlier today, where they show how they made the media dial, and they also showed the Joy-Con stuff.
Yeah. They did a really great job with this project. It's deceptively simple looking.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're showing off the Big Mac they're working on.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And of course, this is their Fusion 360 overview, guide, live video, and you can see some of the snap fit stuff they do. Okay.
That's neat.
Lady Ada, there are 33 days until we ship AdaBox
Yes.
007.
It's time to sign up.
Yeah. We have a lot of subscribers, so we're going to have to cut the subscriber out soon because we'll run out of stuff.
That is true. We do have a hard cutoff.
But
there's still time.
There's still time. So my suggestion is to get AdaBox 7 because now's the perfect time to start. New year, new beginnings.
This one has the most projects of all.
Yeah.
There is more freebies than any other box.
Yep.
More projects.
Yeah. And
stuff.
And I think even a bigger story because it's 007, so it's like spy puzzles. So there'll be lots of surprises and more.
But I can't give away too much because it's a secret.
And then we have a little AdaBox video that I'm supposed to play once in a while.
We should play it.
My boss tells me to play it, so I gotta play it. I know. right, and we of course have the Adafruit new products newsletter. If you have an Adafruit account, you can go into your preferences and get this newsletter sent. This has all the new products, so you don't have to check adafruit.com/new every week. We don't spam anybody, so it's we're not going to send it to you unless you ask for it. Before we get started, code's Falcon. Don't forget that. Okay, Lady Ada, you want to do this?
Yes.
All right, let's go for it. All right.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
We got some new products. What's this?
We do. These are so cool. These do exactly what they look like they do. They are 2.1 millimeter DC jacks, your standard DC jacks, but they have a switch built in. So if you have a project that uses a standard 2.1 millimeter DC jack type thing,
This is handy.
you put this in that place, and then there's a switch added on. And if you don't mind reworking old boards, which like we did here for our demo, which I'll also show on the overhead.
Why didn't we stock this before? This is like the handiest thing.
It took me like 2 years to find the factory that makes this, and then like 6 months to get them to ship it to me.
Yeah,
That's why.
okay. That makes sense.
All right, we also have another one.
Okay.
There's 2 versions.
Yeah. So the other one.
The other one has a rocker switch. So there's a slide switch and a rocker switch. They're both almost like identical. You can look at the ratings. Like one is a little bit more current than the other. I think the rocker switch is a little bit more, but they're pretty much the same. That's it. It's just one piece. You just click and it's on, it's off. It's like really nice. Now the Metro M0 has an on-off switch already, but still, this is like a very satisfying switch.
All right.
Let's go to the overhead and I'll show this off. So yeah, it just solders in to your standard through hole 2.1. It's like, you know, the standard, everybody uses the same layout. And then you turn this on, it's on. You turn it off, it's off. It's so easy. And then I'll show the rockers. This is the on-off switch version. You can see that on-off switch. And then let me pull out the other ones. Give me a moment. Live demo. Here you go. So this one is a rocker switch version. Otherwise the same. Very well made, very durable. Yeah, I saw these on a product and I was like, well, I gotta have these. So it took me a while, but I found the factory that makes it, and we got a lot in stock. So check them out, and
Okay.
they're
handy.
great either for a new project or for rebuilding an old one.
Yeah. Okay, next up. Calipers.
Calipers, but not just any calipers. These were actually recommended by Naomi Wu. These are her favorite calipers. They're solar, but they have a battery, so they work both when there's sunlight, and if you're a vampire, you can use battery.
Okay.
They come in 2 styles. Sometimes we got black ones, sometimes we get silver ones, so you might get 2 different colors, but I can show it off on the overhead.
Okay.
So, as you may expect, there's this little solar panel here. You turn it on, you can measure stuff, you can switch between inches and millimeters, so 0.61 inch, 15.6 millimeters. The only thing I did notice is they don't, you know, these are low cost, so you have to zero them. So whenever you turn them on, just have the jaws closed and hit 0.
We have the really nice, crazy expensive ones.
Yeah. These are $150 and they don't have that issue. But these...
Not solar either.
But they're not solar. So yeah, this is the battery, and if I remove the battery... So it, you know, it uses the battery as backup, but if I remove it, it still works. Wow. Amazing. 'Cause it's solar. It doesn't need to be too bright. You know, I have a fairly dark bedroom, and I was like measuring some parts at home, and it worked fine. The hardest part is actually remembering which way the battery goes. It goes this way. Okay. So these are solar calipers. I really like these. I love the Mitsu Toyos. They're really great, but honestly, for day-to-day usage, these are pretty nice too.
Lady Ada, Naomi Wu, recommended, sold.
Approved.
Okay.
Solar sold.
Okay. We have more of Star Simpson's kits in stock.
The other 2 kits, we only got one in before the show last week. We have the step tone generator, which is a 556 base Forest MIMS circuit. It's got, it's kind of like an Atari Punk console, and this one's really easy to demo. So I put it over here. Let's very annoying sounds. So they're really annoying sounds.
Okay.
But
And we got another one.
we also have a voltage indicator. This one has like a bar graph that will detect voltages. It comes with some alligator clips. so you can clip it on. It can like be a battery checker, for example.
Okay.
And so you can see this one I also put together. Hold on. Let me swap the battery and see. This one's a live demo because actually I forgot that we had 2. Oh yeah. So.
We go there, right?
No, because no, you actually, I think you have to have a something connected, and I don't have it.
Okay.
So, not a good live demo, but check the site because there's all these images, and I think we have a video there.
Okay.
And this one, yeah, it'll show you a bar graph, and it uses an LM339 common transistor logic.
Okay.
Both are, we've carried them before, but now we kit them in-house. They're beautiful. You build them, you can show them off. They have forced MIM stuff. Star Simpson.
A lot of history with them.
Yeah, these are like classic circuits. So,
Yep.
if you want a piece of history, this is it.
There we go. Next up, besides Adafruit black filament, I'm going to say this is at least the top 1 or 2 colors for filament.
Look, it's me. Like from far away, you cannot tell the difference.
If you want to print Lady Ada hair, this is what it looks like.
This looks just like, this is exactly the same color as my hair.
Okay.
This is Magenta Melt Ink is the company that makes this. Noah and Pedro really like this filament company. This is 2.85 millimeter filament. When we got this in stock, I even asked them, hey, like most of our filament is 1.75 millimeter. What's the deal with the switch to 2.8 millimeter? And they said, oh, you know, a lot of the printers that only supported 1.75 have been discontinued, or like all the printers that they like the most are now, you know, 2.85 is the best filament to use with them. So they think that the best profile, the best results that they've been able to get are with 2.85 filament. So they recommended that this one we only carry in 285. So Ultimaker is what they like to use, and that uses a 285 filament. Yeah. So this works great. And they say this is like the highest quality filament that they've seen in a long time, and it's a supplier for many other filament companies. So
yeah,
but this is really, they make it.
Yeah, much like the Lady Ada seal of approval. If Noah and Pedro say this is the best and it works really great, they know.
Yeah, I trust them.
I think they are the experts.
No, they were like...
They're also on camera a lot, so if it doesn't work out, they'd have to deal with it. So they're like, no, this is the right one. So we sourced it, we got it.
I wonder, is that the same pink as that?
I don't know.
Let me look at me. I don't know. You might as well shut off.
Yeah, it could be.
I think this is the same. Oh, yeah, this is the same pink. So this is what it looks like printed.
Yeah.
You can make your own very... Yeah, that one's like violet, and this one's magenta and teal. So really beautiful color, really vibrant. Looks good.
Yep.
A nice filament. Nice and strong, too.
Okay. Well, there's still winter, so that means there's still time to make a snow globe. But in order to make a snow globe, you need the globe part.
Yeah.
We got them.
Okay, so this is
a little challenging to source, but we got them.
Yeah, these were custom made for us.
Yeah.
So these snow globes come in 3 parts. There is, like, you know, the bottle part with a big mouth, so you can fit, you know, stuff inside.
Perfectly fits a circuit playground, I bet.
And then there's this rubber stopper.
That's so the water doesn't go in.
So the water, I mean,
to your electronics.
It's 99.9% sealed. You still want to use glue when you finish when your project's ready to become permanent, because even though there's like seal and another seal, it's still, you know, not guaranteed. And then, you know, a fun project is.
So you have all year if you want to make a holiday one, but you can do this now.
Well, eventually there won't be any snow anyways, so, you know, you might as well.
No, there'll be snow globes.
There'll be just only snow globes. Yeah. Then you screw this in, and then this kind of pushes the stopper up against the bottle, so it
that's beautiful.
Stays
look at that.
Stays sealed, and then you can have a wonderful snow globe. This has a kind of a translucent Adabot in it, but it also works. We have some guides. It works really well if you have figurines, or you can like take photos and laminate them and put them inside as well.
Yeah.
So get creative. And then, yeah, Circuit Playground or NeoPixel ring fits perfectly as well. So you can, I like the idea of having, you know, when you shake it, it does something.
You get a lot of results for a pretty simple project. I remember a long time ago, I think like Martha Stewart's Snow Globe project was like the top project on Martha Stewart's site. Yeah. I think it's time for an electronic project to dethrone Martha Stewart's Snow Globe reign.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can flip this. Wait. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. I wanted to show it upside. Yay! So that's the little
cool
snow globe that we have. So build your own. We have a couple guides using MakeCode, you use Arduino, Circuit, Circuit Playground, of course, but also like don't just do what we do. Come up with your own fun snow globe projects. And I think it's fun to put stuff inside, like make it twirl. All right, so that's the you get only the globe. You provide the water.
Yeah, we don't ship that. Okay. Next up, the star of the show tonight, besides you, Lady Ada, is
Itsy Bitsy.
This was a coming soon. This was a secret thing we had on our secret channels and leaks. We're like, it's coming out soon. Can you guess what it is? It's super secret. We got it now. Okay.
Okay, sorry. I'm just putting my
silk.
filament away. This is a Phil B. Paint Your Dragon silk. Everybody, a round of applause for Phil B. silk because it's the best. Itsy Bitsy. So why did I make another dev board? Because people...
why did you make another dev board?
Sometimes I wake up and I ask myself that. I was like, when did I stop making dev boards? So I really like the Trinket for making projects, but it only has 5 GPIO pins. And there were a lot of projects that people on the Adafruit staff and like people in our community making guides, they said, we need more pins in the Trinket, but I don't want it to be as big as the feather. And there's also a Metro M0 Express Itsy Bitsy, so it has a little flash chip on it with 2 megabytes of flash. This is perfect for running CircuitPython because you can store audio files or images or code on that 2 megabyte flash chip. So it kind of is like you get a ton of GPIO. I think it's 23 GPIO pins, and like 12 of them are analog, 13 of them are PWM. You get a true analog output. Okay. It's that Cortex M0 I know and love, the SAMD21 G18, running at 48 megahertz, 3-volt logic, 256K of flash, 32K of RAM. When we get the M4 chips all sorted out, we'll have, of course, an M4 version. Everyone can't wait for that.
If you like Trinket, need more pins, this might be for you.
Basically, you like Trinket, you need more pins. Feather's a little bit too big. This is right there in the middle. It has all the capability of the Feather M0 Express, but it's really, really small. But it doesn't have mounting holes. That's the trade-off I made. I decided, okay, this one's not going to have mounting holes.
No
it's much more compact. So I
want to show it on the overhead?
I will show it on the overhead because it is small. It is super small. Let me zoom in to how small it is. So you've got your micro USB here. There's a little dot star LED. Let's see if I plug it in, what happens. Okay, so it's doing the NeoPixel rainbow swirl. So it's got an RGB LED. This is just a single red LED. Has a reset button. The QFN 48, SAMD21 G18, and then I'll unplug this so you can see this a little better. Right here, this little black square is a USON 2x3 millimeter 2 megabyte flash. Usually we use SOIC flash, but USON flash actually, like, it's just small, but it works just fine. You get the regulator and power stuff. And there's one other weird thing. I mean, weird, cool thing. There's a single 5-volt level shifter. So if you're powering from 5 volt, the logic level is 3.3 volts in general, right? But then you're like, well, I want to drive NeoPixels, or maybe you have some other, high power LED and you need 5 volts. Pin 5 is 5 volt out. It's output only, and it's logic level shifted up to 5 volts. So perfect for driving NeoPixels. You can see here it says V high out right here. And if you're using Arduino, this pin also has NeoPixel DMA support. We have a DMA NeoPixel library, so you can use that. So you don't even have to use any processor time. So yeah, a cute little polka dot over there. Tons and tons of pins. Even got the SWD I/O pins available if you would like to debug the chip or program it without the bootloader. But it comes with the bootloader, and it has CircuitPython support already, and it has Arduino support already. And then maybe we'll have MakeCode support later on.
Okay. Oof. Really, yeah. Well,
I don't know.
That was, keep making, you know what? Keep making more dev boards. Okay.
I'll keep making dev boards.
That was a new product for this week. So you want to do a recap?
Recap time.
Let's do it. New products.
New. 2.1 millimeter DC jack, your standard DC jack, but with dessert topping on top. It has that on-off switch. We have it both in a slide switch and in a toggle switch. Works just like those DC power jacks, but you get a switch on it. So it's like you can turn your thing off without unplugging it. Really useful. Solar calipers. These calipers are Naomi Wu's favorite calipers. They're solar powered, but also have a battery. If it's dark, you can use the battery automatically, and if it's at all light, you have an office setting, it'll use solar power, so you don't have to worry about the battery running out. We have the Circuit Classics kits from Star Simpson and Forrest Mims, back in stock, manufactured now in-house at Adafruit. These beautiful circuits. It's a Atari Punk console with a with a 556, and also a bar graph voltage indicator with an LM339. Two fun classic circuits. Magenta filament. I just love this color. It's Adafruit Lady Ada hair pink, 2.85 millimeter from Melt Ink, a really good quality filament. DIY snow globe kit. If you have something that's about 13 millimeters by 60 millimeters diameter, you can shove it into this snow globe kit and make your own interactive snow globe.
Like a circuit playground.
Like a circuit playground, a battery. And finally, Itsy Bitsy. It's bigger than a trinket and smaller than a feather. Featuring the ATSMD21 Cortex M0 chip. It has also a 2 megabyte flash chip on board, so it's perfect for CircuitPython. A little NeoPixel built in, red LED built in, 5-volt output built in. It's, yeah, CircuitPython is great for, but you can also use it with Arduino. It's really small.
Products. Okay,
Really
well,
small.
if you wanted to buy some of the stuff and
Small.
save some cash, use Falcon as the code, celebrating Falcon Heavy. Our best chance to get off the planet and explore the rest of the universe right now. That's why we did the code. Supports us, an open source hardware company here in New York City. Okay, we're going to do some questions. To answer your question, you have to be in Discord. That's where we do the questions. Adafruit.it/Discord. Adafruit.it/Discord. Lady Ada, let's do some questions.
Of course.
Okay. There's some comments that people had.
Comments?
Well, there's comments. Someone said it's interesting.
Interesting.
The built-in level shifting output on the pins of the Itsy Bitsy sounds cool.
That was inspiration by Paul Stoffergen. He added to one of his boards. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's such a good idea. That I just totally did it too. I was like, that's smart.
Okay. Question. Need a 0 to 10 volt variable output signal from an Arduino to a VFD that controls motor speed. I see the DAC Adafruit cells, but that goes from 0 to 5 volts. Does anyone have a tutorial or advice for making a voltage doubler to convert the variable 0 to 5 volts to the DAC to variable 0 to 10 volts?
For that, you'll definitely want an op amp. That's the right time to use an op amp. Get a rail-to-rail input and rail-to-rail output op amp. I don't know a part number offhand, but if you look on DigiKey, you know they have a search procedure. It's very easy.
Okay.
And get something that does 12 volt levels, which is not unusual. They're very common. Give it 12 volt power and just hook it up in a doubler configuration, and you'll be good to go.
Okay. For the boards we make offsite, some we do. What machines are made? Pretty much similar to the Samsungs that we have. Like the pick and place doesn't matter as much. These are high volume machines, probably like a Europlacer or something.
What machine? I don't even know.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we design for manufacturing, and it usually works out well because we design and make stuff here. If we have overflow, if we need to make more than we can make.
I think, yeah, one of the factories that we use in New York State when we visited, and they had a Samsung too.
Yeah,
they have a different oven, but they had a Samsung pick and place.
Okay. Someone has a measure of unit called the yay. It's a long yay. Yeah, I agree. Yay. Okay. 2 questions. Any plans for USB-C based boards and peripherals? 2, I've seen a lot of projects with NeoPixel 3.3 volt board emitting a logic level converter like the CircuitPython media dial. When should I plan to use a converter, and when can I safely emit it?
If your voltage is 5 volts and you're using SK2812s, which is what most people are using as NeoPixels now, they actually are very fine with 3 volt logic. It's just some older NeoPixels that are actually using true WS2812s, not compatibles, but like actually the part number is that. Those ones were a little bit more flaky, and for those they liked level shifting a lot more, especially if you were getting within 20% of halfway through the voltage.
Yeah. I can answer the other one. Any plans for USB-C based boards and peripherals? Probably not yet. I mean, there's a lot of adapters that just work perfectly. We're just we're keeping our eye on it, but not everyone has it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Mac people right now for the most part. So I think like micro USB is still
seems to be
it's still pretty good.
The most easiest to make sure everyone can use it, because otherwise they'd have to get a C to another adapter. Okay. Next up, question. Is it possible to run a line of 7 segments to randomly generate automatically at a fast rate? Thank you for helping me.
You can. You have one pin that just selects which of the 7 segment displays you want, and then 7 pins to turn them on and off. But I would just get a driver chip because it's a real pain to do, and if you don't have a lot of GPIO pins, and even then it's not usually worth it to do all the wiring. There's driver chips that do this all for you.
Okay, if you had $750 to invest in a soldering station, would you go to Hakko or Metcal?
I think $750 is quite a bit. I wouldn't even invest that much. I think my first Metcal I got off of eBay for like $200 or something.
Okay.
You just got some tips for it. I think $750 is quite a lot. I'd get a hot air station in addition. I'd get other stuff, not just the soldering iron.
What CNC machine do you recommend for beginners? Hi, by the way, hi. Check out JP's John Park's Workshops, because I think he has like one that he likes that is kind of a beginner level one and wasn't that expensive. So just go to the YouTube channel and check it out. You can also, he's in Discord too.
I'm not a huge CNC person. I don't want to get it wrong.
Apparently our Glowforge is shipping.
Yeah, it's from like 2 years.
I got a notice.
Yay.
And I got a choice. Do you want like all parts to ship yet? I'm just like, ship anything. So I think I'm going to get like a Glowforge caddy.
Just a square.
Yeah. Anyways, next up, how do I turn on a NeoPixel from my computer, even through an Arduino that actually does it? Do I need to make something that uses processing, or can I use this with Python comport?
You can use Python, and I would recommend it. Use Python PySerial on the computer, and then on the Arduino, use serial read.
Yeah, Ripple. You can turn it on and off with Ripple.
Yeah, or a script. It's much, much easier than using processing, I think. But
yeah. Yeah, and Scott pointed out USB-C connectors are a little bit more expensive right now.
They're expensive.
So we'd have to like raise prices. No one wants that.
And they're bigger, so every board would have to be redesigned.
Yeah.
I'm not so excited about that.
But, whatever. Like,
we'll get there.
We initially, all of our stuff had those chunky USB.
We had classic
connectors
USB
back in the day.
and then mini USB. We actually have 2 or 3 products still that have mini USB that are slowly being redesigned.
Okay. Well, that's what the questions later, Ada. Let's give some away. What do you want to give away? Oh, one last question. There we go. One last question. Would it be what would be good software to help run the random generator for the 7 segment, or do I need a driver?
For the random stuff, your microcontroller computer has a random function that you can use.
Okay.
Just use that. Good enough.
All right. And with that, those were the questions.
Okay.
But don't forget, you can keep asking questions and hanging out with us.
Forever.
Yeah, pretty much forever. Adafruit.it/Discord. That's where we're at like pretty much all the time. You can go there. Okay, trivia question. What do you want to give away tonight?
We're going to give away an Itsy Bitsy.
That is a good prize. I'm glad you suggested that. So this is what you're going to give away, all right?
I think that's a good prize.
All right, what are the rules?
Also beta test for me. The rules are if you've won something before, you can't win again. Only one winner per my lifetime. So if you've ever won something from the show, please don't enter. Yeah. Let someone else have that chance. Yeah. The first person to call on the phone, and I pick up the phone, and they answer the phone, and I ask them their name, where they're calling from, and a project they want to work on or are working on, and they are able to answer those 3 questions, win the prize. Yeah. So call this number.
Yeah, you have to figure it out because it's letters, but those equal numbers.
You call this number.
Ooh,
that's
like that. Fast, yeah.
Like if you do that, and then if I pick up and they don't hang up on me. Okay, ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Hello, you've reached Ask an Engineer.
Hi.
Hi there. Can you turn off your computer audio?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Okay, you won.
Congratulations, you won.
Yay!
Yay! You're the winner. Yay! Good work. You've reached the first step. Now all you have to tell me is your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Vanessa, and I'm calling from Columbus.
Okay, Vanessa from Columbus. Well, congratulations. You're the winner. You reached the second step. The third step is all you have to do to complete and win the prize is just tell us a project you're working on or you want to work on.
I am working on it's a bedtime trick for my kids. I have this little game that I play with them that they're not allowed to move for like 5 minutes, and if they can stay awake, they can have their electronics back. So I'm actually going to do a sensor, and whenever they move, the red light goes on and the timer resets.
That's so awesome. Having kids is great. Really, it's like fun for you, like experimenters. All right, well, we're going to send you a free microcontroller board that you can use, and maybe it'll be used in this awesome game. All you have to do is email support at adafruit.com and say, I want a 3727. That's a 3727 because they use numbers. And they'll be like, oh, we know what we're talking about. And they'll send you out this itsy bitsy. And when you build this project, if you don't want, show up on the show and tell. I'd love to see it. This is awesome.
With some very still
All right,
kids.
sounds good. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Well, thank you. Have a great night, Vanessa.
Thank you.
right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Yay.
That's the best kid game. Sit still.
Who could be quiet the longest?
Who can be quiet the longest?
Yeah. All right, well, that's our show for tonight, lady.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. The code is Falcon. Use code 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59, or when I remember, turn the code off. Supports us, an open source hardware company. No loans and venture capital. We're an independent company still. We're going to keep doing this as long as possible.
I don't think anybody would invest in this.
Well, you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. The surface area for you as the founder, owner of the company is really high. You're in live chats, you're doing videos, you're in Discord, you do
Live
all
chats.
you do all this stuff. I'll say this because I'm getting old. On a long enough timeline, people who run companies, they disappear. You never see them. I was talking about Paul Griffin. So I knew he was a friend of mine. I introduced it to him. It's Griffin Electronics, and because we were talking about the little thing.
Yeah, which I put away. So.
And he was on his way out. He's like, I'm done with like electronics, like done.
No, he's tired of being the Apple Store.
And this was like maybe 10 years ago, and it's just a common thing. And I think one of the things is if you don't have a community and a cool group of people, eventually you just kind of expose to the worst things. You're like dealing with like taxes and lawyers and running a company, and just like you kind of only get the awful, but we get exposed to the best stuff every week.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep doing this, but we can only do it if people buy stuff. So that's the trade-off. That's the trade-off.
People wouldn't like to see me if I had an investment. I would be sad.
Well, you know what? One day, who knows? Maybe there'll be a initial coin offering. No, there won't be.
Ada coin.
There won't be.
It'll be like pink.
But I think we can keep doing this every week, and it's only because of the community, the employees that we have, the people that work with us around the world, and everyone there. But keep doing it. Keep making dev boards.
I'm gonna keep making dev boards.
Keep making dev boards.
Well, it's funny because now it's Chinese New Year's coming up, so this is actually my time in which I can get a lot of stuff done because everything like quiets for like 2 weeks. Everyone's like kind of quiet, so I can design new stuff. So I got some exciting new products.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna actually bring these calipers home so I can measure them.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to
Okay.
use EagleCAD.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see everyone next week. Here's a picture of MOSFET, the cat, and here is your moment of Zener.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.